Welcome back to the universe of power. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all things within the Power universe. With only one episode left until the end of Power Book 2, and the first major death that took place last episode with Noma taking out Monet, the stage seems to be set for some major returns to help Tariq take down Carter and Noma. In today's video, I will break down some major Easter eggs and clues that could point to how episode 10 could end, while also explaining why Ghost's return may have been foreshadowed. For those of you that watched my Season 4 predictions video that I did a few months ago, you saw how I predicted that Carter and Noma would team up together to get Tariq and the Tejadas out of the way. Well, fast forward to present time, and that is exactly what took place. Early on in episode 9, we saw the Tejadas and Noma's family come together for the wedding rehearsal dinner. We were finally introduced to Noma's brother that Anya mentioned a few episodes back. Just as I expected, he seems to be the one who actually holds the power over Noma and her enterprise. But I'll get back to him later. We saw Noma put her and Carter's plans in motion by offering to give up the abandoned amusement park filled with product in exchange for them to have a clean slate with each other. The minute I saw this scene was when I knew this would be Monet's final episode. The Monet that we all knew from the last 3 seasons would have been able to see right through what Noma was trying to do. We then see Diana and Drew start to get concerned about why Monet hasn't shown up to Kane's bachelor party, and Diana begins to call Janet after Monet doesn't answer her phone. Diana learns that Noma sent Monet to Staten Island. Soon thereafter, Diana and Drew overhear Effie telling Kane about the Russians going to Staten Island. Drew then tells Diana that Carter sent Tariq to Staten Island for a mission, and they then begin to realize that Noma and Carter is setting everyone up. Diana and Drew make it just in time to save them, and from here they come up with a plan to fake their death to make Noma and Carter think that they are out of the picture until they can come up with a plan to get revenge. This scene really stood out for me because it's the first time that there has been any mention of faking a death since we last saw Tommy pull it off with the help of Tariq in the OG series. In my opinion, this may have been an Easter egg put in place to give us a hint at what's to come. Monet's death was very predictable after she made her peace with Diana, Drew, and Kane. And with the running speculation of Ghost returning, and Mary J. Blige being the highest paid actor in the show, it makes sense that her character did not survive. Now in the past, I have floated the idea of Davis McLean somehow being tied to Ghost. Whether he's a relative or he knew Ghost back in the day. But I thought that the chances of that being possible were really slim. But within these last 3 episodes, I have started to notice how Davis has become more hands-on with Tariq, and sort of like the voice of reasoning for Tariq in a way. With the look on Davis's face when Tariq mentions killing Ghost, this gave me the impression that Davis knows some kind of information about Ghost. But that's just my opinion. And not to mention, I find it odd that Davis McLean was specifically staring at something or someone as he and Tariq are entering the motel to meet up with the Tejadas. As I have mentioned before, throughout the season there have been moments where we see certain camera angles from a distance whenever Tariq is outside. Almost like the show is trying to give us the impression that someone has been watching Tariq. And this scene at the motel is where we see this same type of camera angle yet again. With all of the events that took place in episode 9, there is one major question surrounding the finale. How will Tariq, Effie, Braden, and the remaining Tejadas crack the code to defeating Carter and Noma? With Detective Carter having an entire department of dirty police officers at his disposal, and with Noma having her brother and an entire organization by her side, the odds are completely stacked against Tariq. And he will need some major reinforcements if he wants to get Carter and Noma out of the picture, once and for all. I have a few scenarios in which I can see the finale ending. In the finale, I believe we will see Kane, Drew, and Diana head back to Kane's penthouse to discuss their next move that has to be made after the death of Monet. Tariq will most likely let Carter go to prevent the task force from coming after him. Tariq, Effie, and Braden will probably come up with a plan to find dirt on Detective Carter, and that will likely require Effie to hack into Detective Carter's laptop. And here is where I believe Effie will find footage from Carter's dashboard camera of the night when Carter took out Kamal. I think that Tariq could then possibly show this footage to Rashad Tate, but for some reason I feel like Tate will let his emotions stop him from turning in the footage and go after Carter himself. And this could be a terrible mistake for Tate if he actually does go after Carter, and sadly I could see Carter taking him out. But I think that Tariq could have stored backup footage of Carter taking out Tate. I believe that Tariq will form a plan with the Tejadas to gain leverage on Noma by kidnapping Anya. I think that Tariq will tell Anya beforehand about Noma killing her father, and this would lead to Anya confronting Noma. And while Noma is distracted, the Tejadas storm in and take out the guards while Tariq grabs Anya. From here, this could lead to Carter kidnapping Tasha while she's getting off of work, since Carter is already aware of Tasha being in witness protection. Carter will try to make a deal with Tariq to give up the footage of him killing Kamal in exchange for getting Tasha back. Tariq will realize that he has to call Tommy and tell him about everything going on with Carter, as well as Tasha being kidnapped. I think that Noma's brother will end up going back to Africa to bring back more guards for Noma, while Kane, Drew, and Diana could attempt to take him out before he gets on the plane. And here is when they could get arrested. I think that Kane will get shot in the arm trying to get away from the police, but he will survive. The trailers normally tend to try and throw us off. This is why I think Kane won't die in this scene. Davis McLean will likely get Diana and Drew out on bail. I also think that Davis will play a major part in finding out Noma's next move to help Tariq. But Noma could find out, which could lead to her killing Davis. When it all comes down to it, I see either Anya or Diana taking out Noma. But Noma's brother will likely return with an entire squad to fight alongside Carter and come after Tariq. I see Tommy dropping everything in Chicago and coming back to New York to help Tariq after he gets the call of Tasha being kidnapped. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the show ties Kane's cousins into GTG from Power Book Force, where Diamond gets the call and tells Tommy about what's taking place. And once Tommy hears the name Monet, he could reach out to Tariq to find out what's happening. I could see Tasha getting killed in the crossfire by Carter, when Tariq and Detective Carter attempt to make the exchange for the footage, and from here Tariq will likely take out Carter. But this would cause for Tariq to have to go on the run with Tommy back to Chicago, and I believe that if Braden does actually survive, he will go with them. After they all pull off and head to Chicago, I could see Ghost slowly pulling up on camera for the reveal, and then the episode ends. In my opinion, Ghost's return will be after everything takes place in the finale, similar to how Unique returned in Raising Kanan. This would build up the anticipation to see what's next in Power Book Force. And I definitely believe that Ghost would have put a tracker on Tommy's car that he gave him in the finale of the OG series, so it wouldn't be that difficult for Ghost to locate Tommy and Tariq in Chicago. If Diana doesn't go to Cali with Tariq, then I could see her going back to Atlanta with Janet until the heat dies down in New York. I think Drew will likely either be killed by Carter or serve a prison sentence where he could also get taken out. Effie surviving or dying is still too close to call. On one hand, I could see Kane going with her off to Cali as she attends Stanford University, but on the other hand, I could see Effie being taken out by Carter after he catches her inside of his house hacking into his laptop. There's definitely another show secretly in the works after Power Book Force, besides Origins. Joseph Sikora already told us this a while ago. And we know that Tariq was on set for Power Book Force, based off of what we saw at the Power Content Awards. So while this is the end of an era as far as Book 2 and Force are concerned, Tariq and Tommy's story is far from over with. And like I always say, it's not a guarantee that Ghost is returning in the final episode of Book 2. But with all of the teases that we have gotten from Naturi Naughton, and even more recently Omari Hardwick, I believe that the chances of Ghost returning are higher than they have ever been, in my opinion. Not to mention with the title of episode 10 being Ghost in the Machine, I really don't see how this wouldn't be a clue that Ghost is returning. For the people that think that Ghost's return would make the show unrealistic, I would like to point out that we have seen a number of things happen throughout the season that defy reality. And if Unique was able to return after almost being beaten to death, then Ghost returning in the finale would not be that far-fetched at all. But we have to just wait and find out. If Ghost does return, we may not get a flashback to find out how he survived until Power Book Force. How do you see the finale playing out? Who will survive? Will Tommy show up to save Tariq? Will Ghost? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all things within the Power Universe. See you all next time in the Universe of Power.